Most real estate investors think the problem is lead flow. It's not. The real problem is conversion, because you can spend all day driving for dollars, pulling lists, texting, cold calling, and then lose the deal in the first 10 messages because you answer like an amateur. Here's the truth. When a seller objects, it's almost never because they hate investors. It's because in their head, one of three things is true. They don't understand what's happening, they don't trust you, or what you're offering doesn't fit what they want. That's it. So your job isn't to overcome objections like you're in the debate club. Your job is to increase the chance they move forward by doing two things. One, reduce the perceived risk, and two, reduce the perceived effort. Because people don't buy the best option, they buy the option that feels safest and easiest. That's why investors can win without being the highest price. You're not competing with retail price, you're competing with friction. And if you're an investor, your product is simple. Speed, certainty, convenience, as is. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through the 10 most common seller objections you'll get when you're trying to buy their house. I'll give you the exact replies that I didn't actually come up with, but my AI bot came up with after we gave him the training that it needed. I'm also going to explain why each reply works using sales principles we trained the AI bot on. You're going to understand the mechanics, and then I'll show you the escalation rules the AI uses so that we are constantly closing deals. Its purpose is to handle the repetitive conversation. It only taps you in when there's a signal that someone wants to sell. Here's the framework my AI follows every single time. First, label and validate. One line, calm, not because it's trying to be nice, but because it lowers resistance. Second thing, it asks a clarifying question, because whoever asks the questions controls the conversation. Third, it gives a binary next step. Two options, low effort and momentum. And fourth, it escalates only when there's signal, not when the seller is emotional. Signal. Now let's go objection by objection. Objection number one, who is this? That's not an objection, that's confusion. Confused people don't buy. So the AI reply is totally fair. This is Claire, I'm a local real estate investor. I'm reaching out about the property at 123 Main Street. Are you the owner? Here's why this works. It gives identity and context in one sentence. Then it asks the only qualifying question that matters. Most investors mess this up by writing a paragraph explaining their life story, and long messages from strangers read like scams. It's short, clear, professional. That's how you create safety. Objection number two, how did you get my number? This is confusion plus suspicion. If you get defensive here, you lose. The AI responded, good question, your number is tied to public records / data sources connected to 123 Main Street. If I'm reaching the wrong person, I can stop. Are you the owner? This uses a principle I want you to remember. Don't fight the objection. Close the loop. Your answer briefly, you give control, you return to qualification. Because the goal isn't to win the argument about where data comes from. The goal is to find out if this person can say yes. Objection number three, is this a scam? This is a big one. The principle is simple. Trust is just perceived risk, so you don't try to convince them with emotion. You remove risk with the structure. The AI reply is, I get why you'd ask. I'm not asking for money or personal info. If we moved forward, we'd close through a reputable local title company and everything's on paper. Are you open to selling 123 Main Street, or should I close this out? This works really well because first it validates, second it risk reverses, there's no money, no personal info, and third it anchors to a legitimate process, title company, and paperwork. Then it does the most important thing. It forces a decision, because indecision is what kills deals. Also notice what I didn't say. I didn't say I'm not a scam, because if you have to say you're not a scam, you already sound like one. Instead, you describe a normal, verifiable process. Objection number four, are you an agent? This matters because sellers bucket people. Agent bucket means commissions, pressure, showings, drama. And the investor bucket means discount but easy. So you clarify your category. The AI reply something like, no, good question, I'm not an agent, I'm an investor buyer. If it's a fit, I buy as is, close through a title company. Are you considering selling or just getting info right now? This is a framing move. You're telling them what you are, what you do, and what the process looks like. Then you ask a question that qualifies intent, because if they're just curious, you don't burn time. Objection number 5, are you a wholesaler? This is really, actually, if you think about it, are you going to waste my time? Because sellers have heard horror stories where wholesalers contract, renegotiate, and disappear. So you don't argue terminology, you sell certainty. The AI replies, fair question, labels aside, what I care about is being upfront and closing if we agree on terms. Quick question, what matters to you more? Getting the absolute highest price or having the simplest and most certain sale? This is a core principle. When you can't win on price, you shift the conversation to value. And value is not just money. Value is also speed, effort, certainty, and stress. Seller who wants the highest price should list, period. Seller who wants less hassle is your customer. Your job is to identify which one they are. Objection number 6, not interested. Most people treat not interested like a final answer. It isn't. It's just a vague no. And vague no's aren't useless. So you turn it into a specific category. Our AI replied, oh good, so just don't want to bug you. Are you not interested in selling at all or just not right now? This is qualification disguised as politeness. And it works because it gives them an easy out while still creating information. If they say not right now, you now have follow-up timing, and timing is where investors' deals comes from because motivation changes, life changes. The person who wins is the one who follows up consistently without being annoying. Objection number 7, make me an offer. This is the moment amateurs get exposed because they just throw out a number with no context. That's how you either insult a seller or overpay. So the AI reply, I can, I just don't want to sell. So the AI replied, I can, I just don't want to send a random number. 2 quick questions. How's the condition inside? And if you did sell, what timeline would you want? Here's the principle. Price is a function of risk and speed. Condition tells you risk. Timeline tells you urgency. You don't have those, you're not negotiating, you're guessing. And guessing is expensive. Objection number 8, what's the most you can pay? This is a frame test. They want you negotiating against yourself. So you don't answer most, you answer with criteria. The AI replied, fair question, it depends on condition and how fast you'd want to close. On a scale of 1 to 10, how updated is the home and what time frame are you thinking? This keeps you in control. And also the 1 to 10 scale is super important. It lowers their effort to respond. The more effort it takes to respond, the more likely they ghost. So you make replying easy. That's sales. Reduce effort, increase response rate, increase conversions. Objection number 9, your offer will be too low. This one kills deals because investors take it personally and start defending themselves. Don't. The only thing that matters is whether the seller wants your product. Convenience. That's what you sell as an investor. Convenience, convenience, convenience. So set up the right expectations and ask permission to continue. Our AI replied, you might be right, cash as is offers are usually lower because we handle repairs, holding costs, and closing. If I gave you a quick as is number you didn't like, would you still want it to just compare? This is a permission-based close. You're not trying to win, you're trying to keep the process moving. And it reframes the trade. Retail price equals retail effort. Investor price equals investor convenience. They want a retail price with 0 effort. They're not a real seller. They're a dreamer, and dreamers waste your time. They are tire kickers, and it will kill you. Objection number 10, prove you have the funds. This is a real objection from real sellers. They're basically saying, are you legitimate? So you comply and qualify at the same time. The AI replied, absolutely, I can provide a proof of funds. Quick question, so I send the right info. Are you looking to close within the next 30 days? Is the home occupied or vacant? Here's why this works. You give them what they've asked for, but you also move the conversation towards logistics, timeline, and occupancy, because those create leverage. A serious seller answers logistics, a tire kicker usually doesn't. And now you've handled the 10 most common objections you'll get from a seller. And here's the part that makes this whole thing really work inside of a real business. It's having those escalation rules, because if AI just forwards you every conversation, you didn't buy automation, you bought noise. So I only escalate when there's signal. Now, let me define signal a little bit. It means the conversation is closer to a deal. Here are the triggers my AI uses. Trigger 1 is any price signal. If they say I'd take 240 or I need at least 300, or they counter or they ask for your offer after answering condition and timeline, that's deal language. That gets escalated. Trigger 2 is urgency. If they mention a deadline, a move date, tenant issues, a foreclosure timeline, an inheritance situation, they don't have any equity, whatever it might be, you want to have it where you start giving urgency to compress the decision making. That will get escalated. Trigger 3 is major condition issues. They're saying they have roof, foundation, fire, flooding, code violations, hoarder, major rehab. Those are investor problems, which means your offers becomes much more valuable. That will start getting escalated if they actually start talking about that. Trigger 4, and this one is so that you get permission to advance, or they give you permission to advance. They agree to a call, a walkthrough, photos, access a time window. At that point, a human should close the loop fast, and that'll get escalated to a human. Trigger 5 is like decision maker confirmation. If they confirm they're the owner and they can say yes, that's worth your attention. And then that will start having a switch towards you, because the AI's job is to do what like humans are bad at and give instant responses, be consistently following up, and emotionless and professional. And your job is to do what the AI can't: make judgment calls, negotiate nuance, close the deal. So if you take one thing from this, it's this: you're not overcoming objections, you're reducing risk and effort until the seller is willing to take the next step. That's selling. If you want my team to build AI in your company so your seller leads get handled, qualified, tagged, and escalated the right way, comment AI or message me AI. We'll show you what it exactly looks like for your exact lead flow, your exact acquisitions process. And if you want more content like this, real objections, real replies, real systems, subscribe, because I'm going to make the practical stuff that actually closes deals. Again, if you want AI that is responding for you, for sellers in your company, comment AI, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.